and welcome to UK4UKR.com. I'm here with Kieran.
I'm on the domestic run.
He's actually driving a van, which is brilliant. Kieran is off to, where are you off to after this?
Paris.
He's off to Paris, gay Paris.
In a van, it's not enjoyable.
Yeah. So we were racing to Peterborough. So I was half an hour late getting to Kieran because of the hassles we had at the Channel Tunnel. It was hilarious. Kieran was on the loudspeaker on my phone, swearing like a docker.
Calling them. Can we swear? Can we swear?
You can say effing.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was on loudspeaker. I said effing CUNTS's. See you next Tuesday. At the top of my voice.
And like, they were laughing. There were two.
Were they laughing?
Yeah, because they were French, and you were going off on one about Brexit. And I was like, Kieran, you're on loudspeaker, and you were like, oh shit.
Was I on loudspeaker when I said Brexit? Was he laughing? Some of them have got a sense of humour.
No, I don't think he heard you, but the women definitely went, because I had the phone on the table, because it was like, this is me boss, you need to speak to him. So Kieran was my boss for a little time today, when I was trying to get on the bloody train.
Because I've got Graham a freight ticket, an ill-fated freight ticket that needed a GVMS that you probably heard this week that failed, even though it was correctly entered into the Eurotunnel border pass, which came about solely because of Brexit.
Anyway, so I got through the tunnel, but I was half an hour late getting through the tunnel. And also, I couldn't stop at the terminal building because I raced to get to the lanes that you get onto the tunnel, right? And so I didn't have a chance to stop and get a drink. I really needed some water. I'd been doing a 2-hour podcast, a live cast, right? And I hadn't stopped. And I got to this, and I was, within 5 minutes of the cut-off time for checking in, as it was. But this whole thing made me way late. Got on the tube. And then I didn't get a drink, and I was like thinking, I'll get a drink. I saw the sign for self-admitting services. I thought, I'll get a drink from there, right?
Did you take a mortgage out for a bottle of water?
No, I didn't stop because there was a sign saying services, but it said services and the M1 or some other bloody motorway, and I'm like, I don't want to get on the motorway, drive for a bit, go onto the services, then turn around, come back. But actually, it's on the roundabout. Above self-admitting services, on the roundabout above the. So I could have gone up there. Anyway, then I tried to pull into the garage by you, right? I wanted to just go off the motorway, and it had a queue of bloody cars coming out of it.
Waiting for fuel that doesn't exist.
So I had to go in the wrong way, as the actress said to the bishop. Or maybe the other way around. But yeah, so managed to get a Coke, thank God. And I met up with Kieran, and Kieran's like, oh, what are you going to do? You're too late to go back to London and get on your train. And I went, it's all right, we'll think of something. And Kieran quite kindly offered to drive me like a maniac to Peterborough, where the train that I'm supposed to be on at King's Cross stops at Peterborough.
And we would have made it with 4 minutes to spare.
Yeah, 8:52. Our sat nav is telling us that we're going to get there at 8:48, so we'll have 4 minutes to spare. However, we were racing. We were racing. Kieran was in the middle lane. It was insanity. We were trying to go up a hill, but we're full of stuff in the back here because Kieran's about to go on a run. And then I go on my phone to check on the times, and it comes up with the helpful notification that the train's been cancelled.
But do you know what the ironic thing is? I'm dropping you off to the station to get a train.
Yeah.
Because I've dropped you off to Peterborough, I've missed my train.
Oh no, because you're supposed to be going through the Channel Tunnel.
Yeah, but I don't care because I'm just like, get them to put me on the next one. Even if it's busy, full of Easter people. You can't drive on the M20 because it's closed. Because of non-Brexit related. No, it's called the Special Logistical Operation. A bit like what Putin calls the Special Military Operation.
Yeah. Special Logistical Operation.
Special Logistical Operation.
Only being made necessary by Brexit.
You can't mention Brexit. You can't mention the B word.
Why do they have to stop?
You have to call it a Special Logistical Operation.
But why don't they just go straight through? I don't understand. What do they have to stop and give a number for?
To board the ferry.
I know, but why do they have to do that? There should be no reason. If Brexit isn't the reason, there can be no reason.
But that is the reason.
It is the reason.
The Special Logistical Operation.
It's totally the reason. I have to say, I just want to say quickly while everyone's on, how thankful I am to Kieran for helping organise this trip out. He gave me the van for me to go over, and also sorted out a hotel, sorted out the Channel Tunnel, and now he's driving me to the train station. My train's been cancelled, so I'm not going to get back to Durham until way after midnight. Yay! If the next train isn't cancelled. If it is, I'm sleeping in Peterborough Station.
I'll be sleeping in there.
I just want to say how appreciative I am that I'm not actually driving at the moment.
It takes it out of you.
It's
So
like
I've just come back from Luxembourg.
every day for 5 days.
Yeah.
Do you need a special license to drive this?
After May, you do. 21st of May.
What happens on the 21st of May?
You need an operator's license like you do for a truck to drive one of these.
Yeah.
But it's a Europe-wide thing for once. It's not
Yeah.
a special logistical operational thing. Don't mention Brexit. But Brexit has this week, we have all seen. Funnily enough, people should know this. P&O ferries stopped sailing on the 17th of March when they sacked everybody and there were no queues, right? The GVMS custom software that came out solely because of the birth of the special logistical operation, the GVMS went down, which meant nobody could put their numbers into that barcode that you've got on your phone to get out or get in. So everybody got stuck, which is why you've had queues for the last 2 weeks, right? And they got it working again yesterday. And funnily enough, there were no queues yesterday, but they're back today. That is because, not of P&O, but because of the amount of trucks are now returning to the pre-pandemic levels, or trying to, and they can't cope. So what you have the UK that's still living in a pre-Brexit model of logistical infrastructure that cannot cope with the does it make any sense? Yeah. So the way things come in and out the country, like they did 2 years ago with no problems, they're still trying to do it now, and it's bursting at the seams.
Yeah, because everyone needs a number.
Yes.
If you didn't need a number, there wouldn't be any queues.
And it's not working, which is why you have queues, which is why the M20 is shut, which is why you drive down 50 miles of country lanes,
that's why
hitting your wing mirrors on hedges, reversing half a mile up a country lane when you see a tractor, just to get to the train. Instead of going down the M20, because they have turned it into a car park,
which is what you said would happen on the very first episode.
I actually did, didn't I? I did, didn't I? I did say that.
Yeah.
And the only thing I didn't mention, which I didn't think would happen, I didn't think that'd be so inhumane, was to not put any toilets.
Yeah. So people in these trucks are being forced to shit and piss into buckets, bottles
inside their trucks,
and they can't throw it out the truck, can they?
And they can't throw it out. Apparently, the police scream at you if you get out of your truck. You are not allowed out of your truck. And a Czech driver I spoke to this morning told me that his mate was there for nearly 40 hours last week.
You'd never come back, would you?
No, you won't come.
Not for all the gold in.
No, you won't come back. You'll either go and work for another company that doesn't go to the UK, or they'll end up hiring other people, unfortunately, because there is enough people.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't actually. There's a shortage of truck drivers. Yeah, so they're sort of, I don't know what they're playing at, but they basically make them sit in a queue for 40 hours with no sleep.
Oh, yeah, not to sleep either. They knock on the window if you fall asleep.
Yeah, they knock on the window. Why do that? Why? This is penis season. I told you, at its finest. Why come from the outside lane to indicate in front of me on an empty road, so then slow down, and make me now overtake them?
Yeah.
It has to be I'm not being.
Don't do it. Tell you what though, every driver who came up behind me and flashed the lights to get past was an Audi in Poland. Every single one of them.
Absolutely.
Always an Audi. That was a bloke.
Was it a bloke?
Yeah, it's a bloke.
Did he vote for the special logistical operation?
He voted for the special logistical operation.
See, shall I slow down now and annoy him?
Yeah, I think so.
Pulled up.
I think we had a question there from Diane asking whether she could still donate. Yes, we are going on more trips to the Ukrainian border We've got more trips lined up. We're going to take a 4x4 over in a couple of weeks' time. And also, we're going to be talking with our friends at Aid Out Refugees Back. It's a Facebook group that we're part of, in order to get other teams to go out there and do this run, and just keep going as much as we can, as much as the kind of donations that you have been giving us over the last few weeks allow. To be honest with you, the amount we've got, Kieran, we could probably do about 6 journeys in all.
What's that?
The amount that's been donated.
Oh,
Probably do 6 journeys. It does depend a little bit on how equipment we take over, because obviously that's quite expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, so this is almost the end of my journey, but it's just the start of Kieran's, because he's off to Paris.
I've just come back from Luxembourg.
Right down the M20.
I'm not going on the M20. It's closed. The special logistical operation. Again, it's closed till next week.
It's a bit weird that it was closed though, because the contract flow was closed. So basically, all the concrete barriers had all been moved over, right?
Well, they moved them over.
Yeah, they're all moved over. So when you're coming out, you've got 2 lanes, and you're on.
Yeah, so you're driving down to like a dual carriageway.
Northbound lane, yeah, and then half of the northbound lane is for bound traffic.
Do you know, I actually created about 3 years ago. You can create Facebook check-ins, can't you? And it's called Chris Roadworks. From about 3 years ago, when the fucker first started putting them out. It's Mr. Ferry operator.
The man who failed to win a big election. So yeah, you've got all that joy left to come, but there was nothing on the motorway the other way, which was a bit weird, because it was like the little trucks were on the southbound carriageway.
It's a truck, it's a lorry park.
But on the northbound carriageway, they've been using half of it, like the other half was just empty.
Yeah,
no one coming there.
No.
Which I thought was a bit mad, considering how much tourist traffic this week because of Easter and everything.
Yes.
They don't want you to go to Europe. They want you to stay in your village, marry your sister.
Absolutely.
Eat your gran. I don't know what people do in villages. Anyway, it's kind of thing. But yeah, we are planning to do more trips. So if you would like to donate, head over to UK4 UKR, UK4UKR.com, and there you can give either to PayPal give via PayPal, any credit cards, debit cards, and also you can go via our GoFundMe. You know, the GoFundMe page that we had trouble setting up. It just hit £5,000. You know.
Did it?
Yeah.
Wow. On top of the other one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brilliant. When I get home, well, probably tomorrow. When I get home, I'm just falling asleep. But when I get home, I'll do it a stretch target for it.
I think
7,000.
I honestly think what you're doing is a good idea. Spending the money to drive things over and bring people back, because you're in a 6-seater, 7-seater that's small, and you can pick up the people that you can't put in a conventional car. Yeah. So when you've got a family of 6 or 2 families of 3 that don't want to be split up with their friends.
Yeah. Well, you can get 7
together.
You can get 7 passengers in there if you're on your own.
You can get 7, yeah.
But with Victoria and a family, obviously Victoria was 5 months pregnant, so it was one of them where I was like, well, I don't want to take an extra person. I know I could, but I'd rather not, because I'd rather be able to sit up on the floor and be comfortable.
Exactly. So no, it's a good. Everyone that's donated gets to see you drive out there. I know the price of fuel now is astronomical. You know, it's stupid. But, you know, there's no better way to spend it than to get large families. Yeah. It's a bit of a niche market, if you like, because there's not many people there with 7-seaters.
Well, there's not many people doing it.
Has it died off a bit?
No, I mean, there are people doing it, but it's just the number of refugees is insane, mate.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, me and Chris, both of us, as soon as we left last time, were like, we've got to come back. You know, there's so much stuff to do. And, yeah, I mean, anything that we can do to help, I want to be able to do it.
Listen, even if you spend 20 grand helping one family, it's money well spent. Yeah. Every human life is a human life.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and yeah, you can't put money on a human life. So even if you did spend that 20 grand doing one trip, then it's worth it. Especially with the picture that you posted, you know, it's quite moving. Yeah. I'll never look at my little camper van in the same way again, knowing that it's had people in it and it's done a deed.
Well, when I left, when I said goodbye to Victoria and everyone at the station, there was Victoria and her two boys who were named Timur and Arthur. There was Victoria's mate, Dasha, and her daughter was called Mavara. And then there was Olga, who was Victoria's mother-in-law. So we had 3 adults and 3 children. And before I left, kids all gave me a hug, and then everyone else gave me a hug as well. And Victoria was taking a picture. I thought she was just taking a picture, but she was actually taking a video. And it was so sweet. And I looked at it just before, when I was on the train. Oh, well done, mate. I totally well done. Just looking at this video and was like, yeah. So.
Do you know, I remember in the very early stages when it all happened, and where I do one of my jobs in Brussels.
Yeah.
The visa processing place, the private company that runs it.
Yeah, you went there.
I thought I'd go over and have a look. It's on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
And there was a guy there. He'd been in the news, trying to get his family over. He's actually got a UK passport, but his son hasn't, and his missus hasn't. And he was stuck over in Calais in that grotty hostel on the seafront.
Yeah. With
maybe 200 others, unable to go anywhere. And the crazy thing is, I drove around near the station because I delivered to the station, and you've got people from Ukraine in the early days standing there. You could give them a lift back. You've got 2 empty seats, right? And I'm out there every week, and you can't bring anyone back. You have to literally drive past and say, sorry, I can't help you. If somebody was to ask you, if you was able to bring them back, I would bring people back. Then I asked the passport control what would happen. And basically, you get fined £4,000 per person. If they fine
£4,000,
it's £2 grand a person, and the company gets fined £2 grand per person, right? So if you work for yourself, you get fined £4,000 per person. That's if they find you hiding in the vehicle. So, you know, it almost got to that stage, I think, where you do what people did in the Second World War, where you smuggle people over borders.
Yep.
To save them.
Yeah. But no one should have to be smuggled over the border into the UK. It's ridiculous. Why are we the only country in Europe that requires visas on arrival? Pre-arrival visas. Every other country in Europe has said, come in and then we'll do the paperwork. That's it.
They don't want anybody. They're happy to give them weapons, but they don't want to let anybody in.
So they're happy to give weapons to the men, but not
they don't
shelter to the women and children.
They don't want to upset the gammon.
Newborn babies,
I think. Yeah.
I think also the fact that Victoria was 5 months pregnant just made the whole situation so I was supposed to be going over there to pick up a pregnant woman. That's why we raced to get the van together, we get the insurance and everything.
Yeah.
So there was a pregnant woman with her family. I think her mother and father and her 3 siblings. She was the eldest. She was 22. She was the eldest of 4 siblings, and she was 8 months. She is 8 months pregnant. And I tell you, last week, right, they were that stressed out about the British visas, the situation. They managed to get the British visas. They've been waiting ages, in pretty shitty conditions, over in a humanitarian aid centre in Poland. And I mentioned this, but if the baby was born before they got to the UK, the newborn baby would need a visa, and they'll have to go through the whole process again, whole ordeal, the 2-week wait of getting a visa to come to the UK for the newborn baby. In case, Kieran, the newborn baby is a Russian spy.
I know.
Did you speak to Paolo? Did you hear what happened?
No.
She went back.
Oh, she went
back to Ukraine she went back rather than have the stress of trying to get into the United Kingdom as a refugee from Ukraine. She's an 8-month pregnant woman has gone back to Ukraine. she'd rather be in a war zone to give birth to her son or daughter than put up with any more of this crap from Britain.
It's mental.
It's off the charts, mate. Absolutely off the charts.
When I drove through you obviously, when you came in through Belgium, you come off the motorway into France, don't you? And you've got the douane and the gendarme there, haven't you?
Yeah.
They stopped me about a month ago. I just said it. Got a lot of Ukrainians coming through. He said quite a few, and he said they found some waiting to try and get the inflatable dinghies over to the UK. They found a couple there.
Ukrainians, so Europeans trying to come to another country in Europe, and they're told they're not allowed to. So the only way that they can seek asylum here legally is to come here in a dinghy, which isn't illegal. By the way.
Yeah, but you can't do it now because it's illegal now. You get arrested, thrown in prison now because of the borders bill.
Yeah, well, that hasn't got World Sent yet, but when it does, yeah,
you'll come over and you'll be arrested.
Yeah, which is a violation of the Human Rights Declaration, Article 14.
It is, isn't it?
Has the right to claim asylum.
Of course. And it's the only way to get into the country.
Yep, and you can't claim asylum somewhere else. You just can't do it.
No, you can't do it.
They've set up a special system for Ukrainians, but that system doesn't exist for Eritreans or Yemenis, or does not exist for them. But you hear that Germany is completely bankrupt now. Did you hear about that?
What is?
Germany's got completely bankrupt. You know, because in 2017 they allowed 1 million refugees to come into Germany.
They haven't gone bankrupt.
I know they haven't got bankrupt. In fact, they're doing better than before, mate.
I know they are. What they did as well, actually in Germany, they resurrected and rebuilt old towns that were pretty much disused.
Yeah.
And made them back into working towns again, where people put them into work.
Fantastic.
Growing the economy.
Yeah. Well, what I would suggest to do is I would get all the people who voted who still don't have a job, and let refugees live in their house
because they'll work.
Yep. British people are amongst the worst idlers in the world.
Absolutely.
According to Pity Patel. Dominic Raab.
Did you get your passport stamped?
I did, yeah. I think so. I hope I did. I looked through it. He did stamp something.
I don't know what the stamp looks like.
He was looking at me for ages. It's just square with an F in the corner. Sorry, rectangular.
I'm winding you up now. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what a stamp looks like.
I know, because you don't need one. You've got an Irish passport. All right.
Graham's adding to his impressive array of stamps by getting one that says Calais on it.
Getting the logo that says Calais.
One that you thought you'd never need.
That's my Belarus and Russian visas got stopped with them. Was that when I went through with you, or was that with Chris? He's like, "Why did you go to Russia?" And I'm like,
seriously?
Yeah. I think it was when it was with Chris a couple of weeks ago. I got stopped once in JFK in New York, and the guy's looking for my passport. It's one of my older passports. I went through 4 of these when I was on the Odyssey expedition to every country, and he was just looking through every page, had stamps on it, and he was like, "So why did you go to Eritrea?" And I went, well, that's not the interesting one. Keep going. Look, there's a page here. And I have a page in one of my passports, and honestly, swear to God, it's got Yemen, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia. And I was like, check that page out, mate. Got a load for doing Costa Rica, Panama, Mexico, Guatemala. I have an outie for Calais. That was with you in January. We went to Luxembourg.
Oh, of course, yeah. When we had to wait for 16 hours to come back in.
Yeah. I have a code. This is a code written in my passport here, which basically says I'm never allowed in America again. It's a secret code for not letting me in.
You don't have a green card?
No, I don't have a green card.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Sure.
You haven't forgotten that you've got one?
It's the kind of thing I'll forget. Yeah, there you go, mate. I was stamped out on the 9th, because it was just after midnight. I was stamped out on the 9th and came back on the 12th. So technically 3 days, mate. 3 days, all the way to the border with Ukraine and back in 3 days.
Was that 3 days there?
No, in 3 days. So on Saturday morning, crossed into
that's a big. That's a lot of
got
driving.
stamped out, didn't I?
Can I have a bourbon?
Yeah.
Are they open?
Bourbons. They will be in a moment. How long have we got?
21 minutes.
Excellent. Right, well, I'm going to wind up the podcast for this trip. I called this episode "They Think It's All Over and Out." This is the last episode.
Aha.
See what I did there? It's a pun. There you go, mate.
I don't want them. I'll eat the whole packet one sitting.
Oh, I'll put them there.
I want one more.
If you pick up a hitchhiker, you give a bourbon. If you pick up a Parisian hitchhiker.
I had a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
In the back of my flatbed truck 2 months ago.
Yeah, but I mean one that you let in the cabin.
Oh no, he was hiding in the back.
Yeah.
Then I found him on the M20. So I pulled over. I said, "You lucky little sod." And he stunk of wood. And I said, "Go and sit in the cab." And I gave him loads of food, and he was starving. And he was 14 years old.
Oh, lad.
Yep. And 14 should be at school. I said, "You should be at school." He went, "Yep." Spent 6 months in Libya trying to get over at the age of 14. He was probably 13 then. So I drove.
How's that for a start in someone's life? It's
Wow.
2022. We don't need this. We've got enough food to feed the entire planet. We've got enough stuff for everyone. We've got enough stuff for everyone to be comfortable. But that's not enough for a lot of people. No, they've got to have more. They've got to have more and more and more.
So I drove him to London.
Yeah.
Paid for a coach ticket so he could see his brother in Liverpool. Gave him 20 quid. In direction, I said, "You go and see your brother." We're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if they found him after the passport control, I would have got fined £4,000. That's what the government do to make you hate people that try and come into the country.
Yeah.
It's a deliberate policy.
Yeah.
To make you hate people that come in because they might take away your money through no fault of your own.
It's mad as well. It's so hard to give Ukrainians money.
They don't want to take it.
Do not want to take it.
No.
I'm like, this has literally been donated for your baby. And she was just like, I don't want to, I feel really bad. I'm like, look.
They didn't take any money off.
Yeah, she was going to say no. So I said it in a way that she had to accept. This has been given to you for the baby. This is for the baby.
But this is the great thing about donating money. You go out, you pick people up, you've given them cash.
Yeah, give them the money.
If you donate to it, don't take stuff over yourself. Donate money to all the big charities. You've got no idea where your money's gone.
Yeah, I know.
That is the problem.
But this is a unique situation, Kieran. Like, I can go out to Ukraine. I can't go to Rwanda and help out there.
No, that's different.
I mean? So if I do want to help Rwanda, or want to help Sierra Leone, or want to help somewhere on the other side of the world, I will.
Yeah, but they have specific projects that you donate to, right? There's no project for this.
Well, this is kind of unique, isn't it? I mean, no one expected. Well, come on, we expected to do something crazy, but even though Nigel Farage tweeted that he was wrong.
Did he really?
Oh, because I was wrong about Russia being the good guys.
He's one man I'd like to.
I feel really bad now about taking all that money off them and appearing on Russia Today. Have you not moustache?
Absolutely.
50 different occasions.
Yeah.
Walter says if he picks up a hitchhiker, what's the chances of two serial killers ending up in the same van?
Who's a serial killer?
Joke, isn't it? It's like, do you worry about picking up a serial killer? And you say no. What are the chances the two serial killers? You know the joke about the hitchhiker where you tell this story where you say, I was driving to America and there was this guy standing at the side of the road and he had a little sign and we thought, we've got space in the back. So we pulled over and this guy jumped over the barrier to get his backpack, and his backpack was absolutely huge, the biggest backpack I've ever seen. and he dragged it along the floor like he couldn't pick it up off the ground.
Yeah.
He opened the boot of the car, like picked it up the boot, and when he put it in the boot, like the car nearly tipped up. It was that heavy. And then he jumps in the back and he's like, "Oh, cheers for the lift." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. What's in the backpack?" Oh, actually, no, we've been driving for a bit and they've been chatting. And then I said, "Hey, let's drive. Like, what's in the backpack?" This guy had been really friendly up to this point. Just like his mood changed, his attitude changed like this. And he just went, "None of your fucking business." And I was just like, "Mate, you know, that's a bit rude. You know, you're in my car,
Yeah.
giving you a lift.
Yeah.
Put something in the back. You know, you better tell me what is it?" And he just goes, "None of your business."
Serious?
So I say, "Mate, all right, that's it. You know, sorry, pull over, get out. You know, take your bag with you." So he gets out, and he like stuff moves and closes it again. And then I tear off. And that night we stayed at a motel. I opened the boot, his bag's still in the boot. He didn't take it out. So I looked at it, I opened it up and had a look inside.
Yeah.
You'll never guess what was inside.
What?
None of your fucking business.
I should have known that was coming.
I've got to do that better. I've got to deliver that line better. Anyway, that's my funny hitchhiker joke. Okay, should we wrap it up for this trip then? Trip 2, the second journey to pick up people from Ukraine. Yeah, the website is still open. We're still taking donations. I will adjust the GoFundMe tomorrow to say to add more what they called things, more money to the total. And we'll be heading out again. I think me and Chris are going out in 2 weeks' time with the 4x4.
Chris.
Oh,
are you buying one?
Yeah.
You found one?
He's looking.
What do you want to buy?
Something that's like £1,500, a 4x4 that has got lots of seats and can get a lot of people out. So essentially, you've got Lviv, the nearest town, but all the roads around Lviv have been blown up by the Russians, right? So they can get a big coach, but it has to start like 10 miles out of the city centre. So what they need is basically a little 4x4 to go into the city centre, pick some people up, bring them to the bus, go back in, pick them up, bring them to the bus.
Okay.
So the more seats, the better, but it's got to be a 4x4 because you're going across fields and stuff. Forest.
Don't buy an X5. They only get used in Chelsea, and they can't even drive on the King's Road in Chelsea without getting stuck.
Oh wow!
So yeah, they're not very good.
Okay. Don't buy a Chelsea tractor.
Yeah,
I think that's a bit out of our price range.
No, they're cheap because they're rubbish. And they get stuck, and they're not very good for
Chris is having a look, and if you could have a look as well, Kieran.
Yeah, I'll have a butcher and see what's around.
And we'll pick that up. We'll go in convoy next time, and yeah, we'll see about if I can borrow the step wagon again. Yeah, that was great, mate. Thank you so much for that. Honestly, it was brilliant. It was a really nice drive. Really nice drive.
Was it bad on fuel?
It was shite on fuel, mate.
Was it?
Bloody God.
Is it awful? Yeah. Is it not very good on fuel?
Do you know what? When I was going through Poland, I realised I did have my foot on the gas a bit, right? And then when we got to Germany, and when we got to the border with Poland and Germany, I filled it up, right? When we got to Germany, I eased off a bit and just stayed at sort of 60, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it does.
Or at least it felt like it did. But yeah, fuel economy wasn't amazing. But
52 miles an hour is the best.
Is that the zenith?
But it's soul destroying. I do it in the van most times now.
Yeah.
Because of the price of fuel.
Yeah.
And there's a road from all the way from Brussels down to Liège. There's one motorway. There's nothing on it, and you're doing 52 miles an hour. And you're thinking, do you know what I saw?
Oh, Yaxley Stilton.
Stilton.
Is that Tommy Ten Names? Brother.
Listen.
Go on.
Do you know what I've never seen so much of that I saw on Sunday night?
Boobs.
No, this is quite serious.
Oh.
I must have seen literally one truck after the other.
Yeah.
All Kazakhstan trucks.
What?
All from Kazakhstan. What? I've got the pictures on my phone.
Where?
In Belgium.
Belgium?
Yeah. Kazakh trucks. It's either a way of getting around the sanctions. Shit, bollocks.
It's alright, mate. The train's been cancelled.
No, I know. I come up this way anyway.
Yeah.
I thought I'd go this way.
Yeah, obviously.
There's like one car on the motorway and it was behind me, so I couldn't get back up.
One car that's in your blind spot.
Yeah, so I saw one Kazakh truck, bearing in mind it borders China, right?
Yes.
And it borders Russia.
Yes. Huge border with Russia.
Huge border with Russia.
Let's get Kazakhstan to join NATO. That would really piss people off.
Well, no, they supported the motion to keep them in the security. What did they keep them in?
The Human Rights Council.
Yeah, they voted to keep them in, but I suppose they've really got their hands tied because they're in the Eurasian Economic Community with Russia, and they're a bit worried, or they've got a blackmail saying if you vote against us, we'll cut you off. You know, but I've never seen so many Kazakh trucks, and I thought to myself, what? I've seen one in all the years I've been driving. I think one or two. There's literally 10 of them.
Kazakhstan's in UEFA. I can never get my head around that.
I know, but the weird thing is, going back to it, right? Why do you have so many trucks from Central Asia in Europe on a Sunday night? Absolutely. Or moving oligarch stuff out of Europe
and putting it in.
And putting it into storage.
Kazakhstan.
And putting it.
Well, how'd you get into Kazakhstan from Europe?
Drive down through Turkey.
There's no border between Kazakhstan and Turkey.
Oh, you mean how do you get to Kazakhstan from Europe?
Yeah.
You get down to Turkey and then drive through Georgia or something, don't you? And then you go through Russia. You drive
you've got to go through Russia.
So you have to go all the way through Russia.
Yeah. Or you can do what I did, and you can get a ferry boat, cargo ferry boat, an old hulk from the 1960s from the Soviet Union, from Baku over to the port on the called Caucasus, I think, something like that, which is on the Caspian Sea. So you can take a ship across the Caspian Sea. And that's how they'll probably do it.
But saying that, going back to the Kazakh trucks, I saw more Kazakh trucks than I have seen English trucks on the roads in Europe. They don't go there anymore. And they're our neighbour. And you don't see them anymore. I think was it 33% of businesses have now stopped trading with Europe because of the.
What are we going to do with all this not money we've got, Kieran?
There is no money.
I know, but they're not money. What should we not buy with the not money?
I mean, you need. It's not rocket science. You need to sell things to employ people, to generate wealth, to pay tax.
Mate, we can buy stuff from Africa cheaper now.
Ah, but have you seen? Listen, have you seen all the new rules that are coming in if you want to import to Africa? It's an absolute nightmare. The conformity standards and absolutely everything you have to do.
You want to send stuff to?
Yes.
Export. You mean?
Export. Sorry. You want to sell your goods.
Yeah.
All these amazing trade deals they promised, right, is an absolute logistical nightmare.
Yep.
Because you don't have you can have a trade deal, but you've still got to jump through the hoops in order to export your goods. And it's probably going to be worse than what it is trying to get goods out to Europe now. Trying to get goods out to Europe is absolutely, it's insane.
It's all a bit of a nightmare. Anyway.
And in fact, I have a van full of stuff in the back of my vehicle with absolutely zero customs paperwork, exploiting so-called grey areas of customs. Hope that I don't get an awkward customs agent. They literally chucked the stuff on me.
Yeah.
This afternoon, and we're adding to it and adding to it. It's all last-minute stuff, and it has to be in Paris at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning has to be there.
Am I messing up your logistics by demanding?
I'm not going to get much sleep tonight.
Free rides to Peterborough.
Yeah.
The thing is, if I'd known when I got into this truck, right? When I got in, it was still running. The train was still running because I checked before I got in, right? Because I needed to know what time we need to get to Peterborough, right? So I checked, and then when I was in this, when we hit the motorway, it came up literally real time. I saw it come up on my phone, cancelled. And the thing is, probably, sorry mate, but I'd have known it was going to be cancelled before we got on the motorway. I would have got the train back to London. It's an hour later, isn't it?
Yeah, you could have gone into London.
Sorry.
Arseholes.
Yeah, let's leave it to the last minute to tell everyone the train's been cancelled. And not give a reason. I showed you that, didn't I? It's at the top.
There's no
reason given. Great.
Probably wasn't enough people.
Yeah.
It's Easter. It's busy.
Yeah, you'd expect that, wouldn't you?
You would have thought. So. Mind you, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday night.
It's all very Brexity. Anyway, listen, everyone who's watching, thank you so much. We're getting into Peterborough in a minute, so we're just going to say our cheerios. We have to manoeuvre down side streets and things. Big shout out to Kieran here for helping organise everything for the UK4UKR project, and we will continue to make these live casts. We'll continue to take you on our journeys to across Europe, to Ukraine, and maybe into Ukraine, depending on what happens over the next few weeks. So please keep watching, keep sharing, keep donating, keep giving the love, okay? Because we are making sure that the people who are fleeing Ukraine know that there are people out there who care about them, and that not all humans are cruel, inhuman scumbags
Like Boris Johnson.
like what the Russian army are doing.
Has anyone heard from him since he got fined?
No, he's sitting in his fridge, isn't he?
Is he hiding again?
He's hiding in his nice fridge. Anyway, good night, Alexa. See you later, Duke. See you, Mum. Bye, Mum. Hi, Mum. Bye, Mum. See you later, David, and take care. Cash Dummy. And everyone else who's left a comment, but I can't see your comments because you can only see the last few. So
is that why you wasn't reading mine out earlier on?
Yeah, I must have missed it. And it's really hard when you're driving to read the comments. It's much easier when you
really.
I know. Well, that's it. I said to people, like, if you want me to read your comment, just write one word in capitals, and then you might have like some love. But if I slow down and I'm in a traffic jam or something, I'm just sitting there, I can read the video, okay. But when I'm moving, I don't like to look at the phone too long.
Yeah.
And if it's obvious what someone's written, it's fine. But if someone writes like a foreign word or something, you're like, I've got to literally move towards the camera to see it, and it's not good. Anyway, right, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back pretty soon. I'll probably be doing Hughes the World on Thursday night, finally, talking about Côte d'Ivoire, and then I'll be back after Easter with more Hughes at 10 and sweary PMQs.
I like that, Hughes at 10.
All the other stuff I do. Do you like that?
It's actually very good. Reminds me of the news at 10.
Yeah. There was someone on Instagram, and their Instagram account name was Who's That Girl? His name was something Hughes. And I was like, oh man, I've never thought of that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, it wouldn't work for me. Not a girl. Anyway, so take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and until next time.